Morehouse College, my dear old Morehouse, place I love, man. I wish we could all be together and do this in person. I just want to see you guys, but we'll take it as we get it, right? So one of the things that I need to have, right, before I go to homecoming, during homecoming, and after, all three, boom, 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 I need a good joint. I need a good strong joint. And I just happen to have one right here. This is the shoulder, all right? Many of you guys have major shoulder problems. Some of you have minor shoulder problems. It can be as minor as clicking and some discomfort. Many times when you go overhead, that's practically most of the problems that I hear about, that I used to have. Or you could have major problems. Anything going back here, trying to put on your jacket, anything. I had both of my shoulders surgically repaired. So I'm here to help you guys to avoid that completely, all right? So here we go. I'm just gonna give you a quick anatomy of the shoulder. This is a muscled version of your shoulder blade, also called the scapula. It's got a rotator cuff around it. And by rotator cuff, it's called that because its focus is to help your arm rotate in the socket right here. That bone is twisting, rotating here, 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 and it goes rotating in, which is called internal rotation, and it goes rotating out, which is called external rotation. If you were to start pressing overhead, many of you know this by experience, or bench pressing, or lateral raises, without strengthening this thing right here, all four of these, the top one, the one underneath this one, and then there's one right here underneath that one. So these three right here, and there's one right underneath. This one sits in between your rib cage and your shoulder blade, all right? If you don't focus on strengthening these first, and a few other muscles that are associated with these called stabilizers, you, my friend, are going to hurt your shoulder. Many of you probably have already. But it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world, okay? You don't necessarily have to go see a surgeon, all right? You can actually work some of this stuff out much more efficiently, much more cheaply, and much more timely. And I'll tell you how. I'm going to show you some of the stuff right here. Now, here's the cool part. A lot of the stuff that you're going to do in this, we're going to do together right now, you'd have to do that anyway if you had to go into physical therapy. So just cut out the middleman if you can. If you have minimal structural damage, or some structural damage, or no structural damage, you can do this. You can work this out. It's going to be uncomfortable, but you can do it. All right? So here we go. Take my joint now. I've already had my joint. Put it to the side. Let's break out some bands. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All this comes in that spirit. The lyrics to our dear old Morehouse. Dear old Morehouse. Dear old Morehouse. We have pledged our lives to thee. How are we going to pledge our lives to thee if we aren't alive? If we're dying early because we're spending too much time out of balance. Too much time on the partying, or too much time having cigarettes or cigars or alcohol. I'll never tell you guys to cut out your alcohol or your cigars every now and again. But don't do it to your detriment. And when you do it, make sure you do some of this to counteract all that stuff that's going on in the body. It rearranges all of your body structures, and it potentially turns into cancer. Okay? So we're trying to keep you guys on a healthy path, heading in the right direction. We're all born to die, that's the way it goes. But let's live comfortably as we can, and not have to stick ourselves with a needle because we have type 2 diabetes. All right? Things like that. We have control over that stuff. All right? So here's how I want to warm up here, okay? First thing is I'm grabbing a really light tensioned 9-inch resistance band here, putting it around my wrists. My arms are 90 degrees off of my shoulders here, all right? Now I'm gonna go for 30 seconds. This is the time movement, all right, for 30 seconds. I'm right here. Good, oh yeah. Get that burn. 7, 8, 9, 10, oh yeah. 14, 17, Good, 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take 15 seconds break. Oh, yeah. Some of my favorite memories of Morehouse. Dr. Leroy Davis's history class. Woo! Oh. Woo! You talk about learning some amazing things that stay with me to this day. Politics of language. How about them apples, right? 15 seconds are over. 30 seconds here now. Same movement, palms facing the ceiling. Go. 2, 3. Get that burn. Oh. This is just a warm-up, guys. We're going to warm these joints up before we start to make them work. Okay, this is the way that you actually warm up the shoulders properly. We're using the posterior chain of the body. We're trying to get this thing nice and heated before we start using the more topical muscles. That's how this whole thing is designed to work. If you work them out of order, you are risking injury, tears, and things of that nature, okay? You also want to make sure that you use the proper technique and proper posture when you're doing it. Take a little rest, 15 seconds. Your posture and your technique are critical. Because without them, guess what you're doing? You're making things rub that shouldn't be rubbing. When things rub, they pinch things in between them. When things get pinched in between them, it starts to fray. Imagine a rope rubbing the edge of something over and over and over and over again. That rope begins to fray. That happens in your body. That happens to your tendons. It can happen to your ligaments. By the way, your ligaments attach bone to bone like a twist tie. They keep bones from changing, from disconnecting from each other. Tendons attach a muscle to a bone. Your tendons are what allow muscles to move your skeleton, by the way. All right? All right, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to take this for 15 repetitions, okay? We're going to go in circles in one direction, and then we're going to change directions, okay? Let's go for 15, 14, 13, 12. Oh, yeah. 11. Ooh, 10. Oh, yeah. 9. 8. 7. 6. Shout out to Thurman Hall, second floor. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Switch directions. Shout out to Du Bois, the basement. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. Shout out to West End Apartments. 7. No longer there, of course. 8. 9. 10. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Oh yeah, I'm getting warm now. That's what you want. You're trying to raise your body temperature. Literally getting warm. You're trying to get heat in your torso, in the core of your body, all of your torso, not the core, but the entire torso. Raise your body temperature. When that body temperature gets raised, that means your body is getting prepared for movement. The temperature goes up, your joints start to emit what's called synovial fluid, and that synovial fluid says, we're ready now. That's the body's natural lubricant to prevent more rubbing. All right, now we have some external rotations. We're gonna go for 15. Proper technique, chin tucked, boom, shoulders retracted, boom, the entire time. 15, oh yeah, 14. This is the burn, baby. 13, woo, 12, oh yeah, 11, 10, 9. Shout out to Pi Chapter, 8, ooh, 99 years, 7 and a half, 6, yeah, 5, oh yeah, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a little rest, okay? We try to take 15 to 30 seconds of rest. The more out of shape, the more under-conditioned you are. Take 45 to 60 seconds in between those sets, all right? We're just gonna do 2, all right? So we got 1 more. These aren't easy at all, okay? Palms facing the ceiling. Again, chin tucked, straight back to the wall behind me. Boom. Shoulders retracted. Hold that. Boom. Now we're here. 1, 2, oh yeah. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take your rest. I'm trying to keep my rib cage down too. I don't want to flare out like this, all right? I want to keep my rib cage down, and I want to keep my pelvis tucked under. I don't want to have to recruit anything else by bringing my low back into it with a strain. No, just keep everything nice and tucked here, all right? We'll take some more time here. Wow, good stuff. All right, I'm gonna switch bands, all right? I'm gonna go to a longer band. Those are 9-inch bands. I'm gonna go to a 41-inch band now, all right? So next movement we're gonna do is a combination of a rotation, external rotation, and a row, all right? So it looks like this, all right? It's a short movement, right there. Keep the elbows pointing down to the floor and rib cage down, pelvis tucked. Think a dog with its tail between its legs, all right? Here we go, okay? I'm starting right here. Right here. I'm going to slightly pull it apart. It's kind of tight, so I'm going to pull it apart and externally rotate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take a rest. Now, many of you have problems with your shoulders. Some of you had an acute injury that hit you when you were in a car accident, or you were playing sports when you were, I don't know, in high school. Maybe you played football for Morehouse. Either way, if it's an acute injury like that or a posture-related issue, you guys who are out there making all this money, achieving big things, couldn't be more proud of you. Morehouse men are doing it everywhere in all walks of life. Even in small contexts, we are still doing it. It's not a function of our income, right? It's a function of our impact. So Morehouse men are doing it on all fronts. That said, when we sit at a desk for too long, guess what happens? You guys go from this when you're in college, coming out of college to your job, and then all of a sudden you're sitting here, right? And then you're sitting here for 1 year, and then here becomes here. Yep, making that money, right? Making that good living, right? And then here becomes here. Oh, but that money is real good. And then here becomes here. Oh, 3 years in. Oh, man, my back, I got a little tweak in my upper back and in my neck. What's that? And then over time, I'm here. And then I'm reaching for my mouse. And I'm doing all this. I'm like, oh, my God, my back is killing me. I got to stretch my upper back. I got to stretch my neck. No, you don't. It's already getting stretched. It's the opposite. You need to shorten it by doing the things that we're doing now, okay? One more set. We call these W's, okay? The row plus external rotation, all right? So the row is here, and the external rotation is there, all right? Here we go. 1, 2, rib cage down. 3, wrists are not involved here, fellas. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Shout out to my girls in Spelman. 9, 10, 5. Class of 1994. We did the damn thing. 3. We're still doing the damn thing. 2, 1. And we're still close. Take a rest. Way to go. Back to the desk. Low back pain, right? Sitting too long, hip pain, all this stuff. You need not stretch. You need to shorten. You need to do these exercises. This is the stuff that keeps you healthy and upright and pain-free. This is that stuff right here that you guys need. All right? All right. Let's take it down to the floor for now, okay? Now we're going to just do some holds, some static holds. All right? Now I'm going to challenge. I've just warmed the rotator cuff. Right? So now we're just going to activate them in a different context, called a static hold, all right? This is called isometric exercise, all right? Now, I have my hand on the floor, 4 points. Right there, right there, right there, and right there, both of my hands. And by the way, I'm also doing something, again, here's that external rotation. I'm locking my shoulder blades in place by doing this. Boom. My hands won't move because I'll be on the floor, right? So I'm externally rotating in the shoulder. I'm locking my shoulder blade in place when I do that. All right, let's hold that. We're going over 30 seconds, okay? Good, I'm locked in. Elbows are fully extended. My chin is tucked. We're not doing this, okay? Try to fight that, fellas, okay? I'm squeezing my butt and I'm cinching my abs. I'm pushing my rib cage down toward my pelvis. Tucking my rib cage, tucking my pelvis. All right, that's about 10 seconds. And I'm externally rotating in my shoulders. Getting a good sweat here too. Starting to work up at the ladder. This is good. This is what it's all about. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take a rest. It's 30-second hold. We're going to take 30 seconds off. Okay? This stuff, you want to keep on doing it. You want to make lifestyle changes. You want to do them in tranches. Pick them one day on, one full day off. The day off is as important as the exercise. Why? Because muscles get stronger during periods of rest and recovery. You're only as strong as your recovery is good. Recovery consists of a few things. I got a whole bunch of tools for the trade to share with you, all right? We're back on, another set. Screwing my hands in, 4 points of my hands, boom. Screwing my shoulders in, externally rotated. Squeezing my butt, tucking my pelvis under, tucking my rib cage under, and I'm squeezing everything. This is not just an abdominal exercise. This is for your spine. Oh, yeah. I'm going to say it's 15 seconds. 11, 10, 9. I got a good shake going. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take a rest. All right. Now we're going to add some movement to that. Okay? The muscle we're going to hit right now is another stabilizer muscle, but it's not one of those rotator cuff muscles. It's called the serratus anterior. It's that boxer muscle, that muscle that boxers always have. It's really, looks like a bunch of fingers coming out of the side. People think it's an abdominal muscle. It's not. It's a shoulder blade muscle. It tries to focus on keeping your shoulder blades flush against your rib cage. When your rib cage is allowing your shoulder blade to fly off of it, it's a bad thing. You are in serious jeopardy of injuring your shoulders, okay? This is called plank to pike, all right? Same thing, but this time on our forearms. We're gonna start off on our forearms, okay? I'm not just holding my body weight on my elbows. I'm trying to distribute it across from my fingertips all the way down to my elbow, okay? So my arms are parallel, externally rotated. Come up, drop down, squeeze. 15, 14. I picked 15, 13 for a reason. 12, 11. The reason we want to have 15 repetitions is because that is building endurance in the muscles. 15 to 30 repetitions is your endurance repetition range. When you start talking about 8 to 12, 10 to 12, that's for building strength. And then you have movements for building hypertrophy or muscle mass. And then you have movement reps, rep ranges for developing power. Power is not strength. Power is strength plus speed. All right? So keep that in mind. Power is strength plus speed. You want to have low weights, boom, and quick movements. All right? And typically, there's a core element typically in power. Okay? Even if you're on your feet, the core is really typically a part of power movements. Sometimes it's not, but for the most part it is, okay? Next rep of pike plank. Whew, I got a good sweat going. Arms are parallel, hands are on the floor. I don't have fists. The reason I don't have fists is because I want to keep the tension in my spine, in my core, and in my hamstrings and quads. My knees are deadlocked. The whole thing is developed. I don't want this, no tension in the hands and forearms. Come on up. Down. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a rest. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Starting to feel that one. Oh, yeah. Now, for all of you fellas who need to do, sorry about that, guys. For all of you fellas who need to do bench press, and you don't have a bench press machine at home, you got options. Oh, you have options, gentlemen. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Be right back. Oh. Oh. Yeah. Somebody wants bench press? All right. Bench press is good, but it's only as good as you work the back as well. All right? So I'm taking these bands, I'm wrapping them around. I'm gonna go to the floor now. Ah, yeah. Now I want this band to be around my armpit, underneath my arms, on my back. Now, for your bench press, you want to retract your shoulder blades. Let me show you what that looks like again. Look at my shoulders. I just pulled my shoulders straight back. My back is slightly arched, not because I'm focused on arching it. I'm not focused on that at all. What I'm focusing on is retracting my shoulders as hard as I can. Then my back comes up slightly automatically. Okay, hold that retracted position. Now, I'm holding the bar about one hand width, one hand length outside of shoulder width. Okay, now from here, as I push, I'm keeping my shoulders retracted. When you're done with the set of bench press, your back should be on fire as well as your shoulders, elbows, and chest. All right, so here we go. The angle of my arms as well, it's about 45 degrees. Never do bench press out here, fellas. That means you're grinding, and that means you're gonna tear something. Okay, please pay attention to your technique, okay? Here we go. My wrists are flat as well, okay? I'm not here, right there. I'm using my forearm as support, okay? No wrist. Here we go. Retract. Shoulders are at 45 degrees. Wrists are locked. 1. Tap the elbows. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just tap it. 8, 9, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, yeah. 1, take a rest. It's really simple. It's really simple. The less complicated your movements, the better. You just have to know what muscles you want to fire, what order you want to fire them in, and you need to have an understanding of why you want to fire those muscles first. Everybody has different needs, but everybody needs a strong rotator cuff. That's why I strongly suggest that before you do a class, a general fitness class, one of those general ones, this is a very specific one for stability and endurance, but those general classes where you're jumping around, oh man, I know more people who have good intentions. They go into those classes with, these New Year's resolutions. Many people quit the gym not because of their fatigue levels after they started working out, because they don't know how to train. They hurt themselves. That's how it goes. So be smart about this. And if you need, I'm here. That's why we're dear old Morehouse. I'm here for you guys. Reach out. All right, here we go. Shoulders are retracted. Wrists are flat. Let's go. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take your rest. All right? Now, the key to having a healthy shoulder, the key to having a healthy body, healthy muscles, you have to have muscular balance. All right? And what that means is you want to have muscles that are firing appropriately all throughout the body. You don't want to have one set of muscles firing more so than the other. If you have that, the joint is getting pulled in the one specific direction, and that pull is going to lead to an injury. Okay, you want to have muscles that surround a joint all doing their work, all providing the required tension for a healthy joint. Think of your shoulder, or think of any joint for that matter, as a trampoline, all right? Think of the muscles of the joint as the trampoline skin, the thing that people jump on. Think of, let's see here, the tendons of those joints, the muscles attached to joints, attached to bones via tendons. If any of the springs, which are the tendons in this case, are too loose or too tight, if there's not equal tension distributed equally around that trampoline, that thing's gonna break at some point. It's a dangerous apparatus. Just like your shoulder is vulnerable as heck. It's already, because you can do so many things with it. You can do all this stuff with it. It's a fantastic joint, most versatile and mobile joint in the body. But because it allows for all that movement, you have to be very, very careful with it, or else it will crack on you. Something will crack. You'll tear something, you'll pull something, you'll just be out of commission. And you might wind up on that surgeon's table if you aren't smart about it, okay? So again, most of you guys, it's not your job to do this stuff. Your job is to do your job. That's why you got people like me out here, okay? You have people who base their approach to your needs in science. My needs aren't the same at this point in my life as they were when I was 15 years younger. I'm a whole different physique now. I have different needs now, right? I don't do the same things that I used to do with this. And the things that I do, I don't do with the same intensity. Certain things I do more intensely, other things I stop doing completely, or I just lessen the intensity. So you specifically are different, not only from me, you have different requirements than I have, but you have different requirements from the ones you had 10, 15 years ago. Hell, you might have different requirements from the ones that you had last year. That's how the body is, okay? Now, we just worked the front. We worked the anterior with a lot of posterior shoulder retraction. Okay, now we're gonna work the back. We're actually gonna work the back now, okay? Now, same thing. I'm gonna use this pole, okay? This PVC pipe. This is a 1 inch diameter. It's about 5 feet long, okay? So I'm gonna step on the part that was around my back. I got about a foot of tension, of space in between my feet. 1 foot between my feet, all right? Now, this is really important. As I sit up, okay, I'm going to flatten my back. I'm pushing my butt back. The position of my leg, my butt going back, my shins are damn near perpendicular to the floor, and my butt's going back. This is called a hip hinge. This position is called a hip hinge. I'm hip hinging, and I'm retracting my shoulder blades, and I'm trying to keep a flat back. And I'm not letting my head jut forward like this. I'm using my spine like one continuous piece. Not 3 segments, not a neck, a thoracic, and a lumbar. I'm using it in one long piece. Tuck my chin toward the ceiling, roll up here, 1, 2, 3. I'm using my shoulder blades, guys. I'm not using my biceps. Okay, I'm pulling from my back, and then my biceps come at the end. 8, 7, 8, 9, 10. I did 15 on the front. 5, I'm doing 15 on the back. 4, I did 2 sets on the front. 3, I'm doing 3 sets on the back. 2, 1, take a rest. As far as muscles from the front and back go, I like to do 2 exercises going back for every 1 I go to the front. That maintains a joint properly set. That maintains an arm bone, I should say, as an example. Properly set in the middle, even toward the back of the joint, of the shoulder. All right? If I have my arm bone and I work my chest all the time, push-ups and bench press like most guys do, this happens. And guess what? When this happens, that's when you start getting shoulder problems. Most of you guys I know your shoulder problem. I know exactly where it is. It's right here, right there. You can touch that bone right there. I know, that's called your AC joint. It's where your clavicle meets the little hook that comes off from the back of your scapula toward the front. It's called your acromion. That acromion touches your clavicle. That's called the AC joint. Acromion clavian joint. All right, next set of rolls. Here we go. Hip hinged, butt back, shoulders retracted, pulling from my back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Tuck in my chin. 7, 8, 9, 10, 5. I have my feet. 3. My weight is distributed from my balls of my feet to my heels, so I can wiggle my toes while I'm in this position. All right? Another critical distinction. You want to get used to having what's called a tripod on your feet when you're standing. And any exercise that you do on your feet, if it's a lateral raise or overhead press, bicep curls, whatever you're doing on your feet, consider it a foot exercise. I strongly recommend that you guys work out in bare feet. Why? Because those shoes that you wear, the Nikes and all the other brands, I'm sorry, no brand in particular, sorry. All these big name shoes that everybody loves because they're fashionable, they are killing our feet. Our feet have layers and layers of muscles in them. They're there for a reason. You guys who have flat arches, you used to have an arch when you were younger, that arch is a problem. Why is that a problem? Because when your arch collapses, your knee collapses. When your knee collapses, it's unstable. When that knee gets unstable, it's vulnerable for injury. And guess what? It just works its way up the chain. Unstable knee becomes an unstable hip. Unstable hip starts to work its way up your low back, into your middle back, and goes to your shoulders and goes to your neck. So all of this stuff is interconnected. All right? Remember, you want to do at least 2 times as much in the posterior chain as you do in the anterior chain. Because we do everything in our lives going in this direction. We type, we talk, we walk, we live, we pick up. We live in this direction. So we have to counter all that other stuff with gym work or training work going in the opposite direction. We also want to go side to side because we do nothing in that lateral plane. The lateral plane is huge. When you put all these planes of motion together, okay, add the transverse plane, twisting. Okay, the 3 planes are front to back, this direction. It's called the sagittal plane, pulling, pushing. You have a frontal plane. It sounds like it should be going to the front, but no, it's not. The frontal plane is going to the side, side to side. And then you have twisting. This is called the sagittal plane. When you train all of these together, you develop power, you develop balance, and you develop bulletproof joints. This is the thing that keeps you healthy when we all have grandkids, when we all have great-grandkids, because we're going to live a lot longer than our parents did. We're going to live at least to about 85 to 100 now. Believe it. Science has developed ways for us to die later. And if you don't live well in those times, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a really slow and painful death. So handle the things that you got control of, fellas. Hip hinged, retracted shoulders, externally rotated. Boom. Tripoding my feet. 4. See how my toes are wiggling? 5. I have my balls of my feet to my heels activated. 8. This is my 3rd set here. 9. 10. 5. 4. 3. 2. Pulling with my back. 1. Good. All right. We'll take a little rest. I love this stuff. This stuff has changed my life in multiple ways. I feel better, yes, but it's also allowed me to do this. This is what I think I do best. I connect with people, and I love Morehouse. So it only makes sense for me to connect with my Morehouse folks. Man, that experience. And I know you guys love that school like I did. I don't care if you stood in those financial aid lines for God knows how much time, like these darn voting lines now. No, our HBCU experience prepared us for this stuff. That's nothing. That's nothing compared to what we had to deal with. And we had to deal with that every quarter, so every semester sometimes, right? We're built for this stuff. We're good to go. All right, fellas, now I'm gonna grab a thinner band than this one, okay? So with this one, what we're gonna do, we're gonna work on the rear delts and the rotator cuff. All right, here's the movement. It becomes a rotator cuff muscle movement the second you do this. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna turn those palms facing up. All right, I'm gonna retract the shoulders, boom. And from here, I'm pulling from my scapula, my shoulder blades, okay? Pull here, start there. Pulling straight back in that retracted position, and now pull apart to my person. 1, keep the shoulders. 2, retracted. 3, keep that rib cage. 4, down. Keep the pelvis tucked. 6, from the side, here's what it looks like. I'm not here. 7, I'm here. 8, 9, keep that chin tucked, please. 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take your rest. Woo! Wee! Yes, sir! Yes, sir! All right, fellas, we got one more set, and I'm gonna end this for you. Beautiful work. You guys reach out to me if you got any questions. I'm here. I'll even give you a free month of sessions. That's 8 in total if you're interested. Your call, though. I love Morehouse. Love Morehouse. Love Morehouse. Again, shoulders retracted, chin tucked, ribs down, pelvis tucked. Hold that. Pull. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, every now and again, 4, I might do this. 3, when I do that, oops, I gotta remember. 2, get back in technique. 1, whoo! I'm on fire, fellas. I love you guys, man. So proud of this school. So proud of my Morehouse brothers. That experience was unlike anything in my life by far. Best 4 years of my life, all right? I'm here, fellas. If you need me, there's my company. Muscle and Bone NYC. Boom. Okay? Reach out to me at Tony@muscleandbonenyc.com. You can buy merchandise if you want online at the site. Muscle and Bone, A&D, muscleandbonenyc.com. Morehouse College, man. Woo! Thank you so much for all you have done and for these amazing relationships that I have in my life.